Greetings to you from wherever you're watching us tonight. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show from the city of Lagos, right here in Nigeria. I'm Yemi Adebayo.
All the greetings to you wherever you're in the world watching us. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan.
All right, let's set the ball rolling tonight. Games currently going on in the English Premier League. Everton fighting for survival as it is. We'll be talking about that and more all for you. Today we have some stories from the domestic scene. We'll touch upon wrestling. We look at volleyball, and we'll also take a look at the Super Falcons. Of course, one of the star players speaking, talking about our career and what's happening in our club. We'll also talk about the aftermath of the Europa League. We already know that Frankfurt are champions. We'll talk about them and also take some reactions from that. And also, we will be giving you a blow-by-blow account of the games currently going on in the English Premier League. And of course, the consequence, probably the results, what it would mean for some teams. All right, so that's the outlook of the show. Before I pass the baton back to Austin, let me quickly introduce our partner in the Lagos studio. Bolo Money joins us tonight. Greetings to you, Bolu. Thanks for finding out time to be with us on the show tonight.
Yeah, good to be again on this lovely Thursday evening. We saw a good game in the Europa League yesterday. A team setting, or let's say a joint record. The German team next season we have 5 German teams in the UEFA Champions League, and the Women's League, they are moving low key under the radar, growing gradually. They're Super Six. We've seen goals, we've seen sacks, and someone is raising question marks. Her name is Monday Gift. Why is she not in the Randy Wardrum's team? I think there's a lot of questions that everybody has to answer.
Yeah, all right, so that's it. But we're not starting there tonight. We want to talk about wrestling. That's where we're going to start on the show tonight. Team Nigeria's contingent to this year's African Wrestling Championship in Morocco will leave the country later tonight for the tournament. 13 wrestlers, which includes 10 women and 3 women, 10 women and 3 men, beg your pardon, will be competing for African honors in the Wrestling Championship that will begin on Tuesday and will be concluded on Sunday. The all-conquering women team will get on the mats on Saturday, May the 21st, with the men following suit on the final day of the competition, and that's May the 22nd. Olympic silver medalist Blessing Oboro-Dudu in the 68 kilogram category, who is gunning for an 11th consecutive African title, headlines the list of Team Nigeria wrestlers at the tournament. I mean, what else can we say about wrestling, Austin? It is good that this is happening, and it's going to be very hard to erase Nigeria's dominance in African wrestling, especially with the women. Okay, Bolu, I was talking about, while we get Austin back with us, I was talking about Nigeria's dominance, especially on the African scene with regards to the ladies. I mean, I mean, no question. And it looks like for the next few years, we're set to still be at the top because some of these wrestlers are still going to be around for a few years.
I confidently tell people that if there's a federation in Nigeria that's properly run, it's a Nigeria Wrestling Federation. Even when they had money issues, nobody knew about it. Everything about them is always on the low, trying to make sure everything works out well. And that's why I feel every federation should be like, well, you ask yourself, how many federations do we have ex-athletes running them? Their president is an Olympic gold medalist. Since he won the Olympic gold for Canada, I think the 2000 or thereabout, nobody has ever won it again in wrestling for Canada. It shows he knows the game, he knows the business part, and he also knows the competitive part. So probably that's why wrestling are doing so well. Like you rightly said, especially the women. Some of them are top 3 in their categories, especially Blessing and I can't remember a second name. They were top 3 in their category at a point, first, second in the world in their weight category. So I think to an extent, especially on the African scene, we can boldly say that we have some of the best. So don't be shocked, don't be surprised if we come home again with loads of medals.
All right. Bolo is telling us not to be shocked, not to be surprised if we come back home with a trailer load of medals, especially from the ladies. I know Austin is very eager to join in the conversation. Austin, we're talking about the ladies now, and we're also talking about the Wrestling Federation, how they've been able to navigate their way in spite of all the problems, and they seem to be getting it right. And now, I mean, we can't be optimistic ahead of this tournament in Morocco. Okay, it does appear that we're having issues getting Austin to be with us. We'll try to sort all of that out, and we'll get him in. I can tell you that he's very eager to be with us on the show. Follow-up question, Bully, before we leave wrestling altogether. That was the time we had the president of the federation here, and we asked him the question a lot of people have been asking: why does it appear that the ladies doing better than the guys? You could close your eyes and confidently mention like 4 or 5 ladies that probably will come back with a gold medal in their categories. Not so for the men, they're there, but not as dominant and as the ladies. And he gave his explanation, but from our sides as journalists, what can you lay your finger on and say this is probably the reason why the ladies seem to be doing better than the guys?
Well, first of all, I was referring to Odunayo Adekoroye. She is one of the best in her category in the world, not just on the African scene. But I think the challenge
in spite of the setback at the Olympics.
Yeah, at the Olympics, that was sad. I listened to the president after that. He said she could not even come out, and they had to start encouraging her. It happens in game. And also, I think one of the positives we have is population, first off. Then secondly, most sports that are men-based in Africa, I think Nigeria probably started, if not all, infusing women into those games. So we grew faster than every other African contingent. So others can compete very well in the men's game. But for the women's game, it's always hard. Not that our men are not good. They are good. Just that their competitors are equally good, if not better. But for the women, it's even hard to pick up, especially in wrestling. It is hard to pick 1, 2, 3 players or fighters who are better than Nigerian wrestlers. So it's more like we have the training, we have the talent, we have the coaching, but others are still yet to match Nigeria. Look at the Falcons, for example. We have many African teams that have grown way beyond what they were 10, 20 years ago, but they are still yet to match the Falcons. But the countries that were rated way behind Super Eagles 10, 20 years ago, some of them that are not better now can stand side by side with Super Eagles. So I think for the women, it's basically because others have caught up with us. But for the men, but for the women's game, we are still way ahead of the others. And I hope the next 10, 20, 50 years, it still remains like that.
We all hope so too. All right. Even though we're about to leave the segment talking about wrestling, but Austin is back with us, and I know you have a thing or two to say about wrestling. You know, about the progress we've made under the current leadership of the federation, and it appears like it will be so in the next few years. We're just hoping that maybe the guys too can match what the ladies are doing for us. But in spite of all of that, I mean, you have to praise the wrestlers, the administrators, the federation, whatever it is they're doing behind the scene, definitely it is working.
I think it's a product of purposeful leadership. You know, Daniel Igali, Olympic champion, been there, done that with wrestling. I've watched him train with these wrestlers, and you wonder if he's actually competing with them. The level of passion displayed by these wrestlers, you can tell it's coming from what they've seen with productive leadership. At the African Championship in Morocco, of course, Nigeria is a team to look out for. For instance, Blessing Oborududu, Olympic silver medalist. She will be vying for a record 11th African title. 11th. She has 10 already. The only time she didn't get to win was when she didn't participate. So that tells you that she's one to beat. Should I tell you more about Odunayo Adekoroye and the level of consistency that she has shown? She just needs to, prove that she has put behind what happened to her at the Tokyo Olympics and continue her dominance right here at the African level. Hannah Ruben in the 76 kg category, she's a fantastic wrestler also. Sumisola Balogun is one for the future. I want to see what she can do at this championship. Esther Kolawale also is another good one. Now, listen, with the men, it has been a problem for the Nigerian Wrestling Federation. it's not like we don't have good male wrestlers. I don't think they've reached that level, to compete properly. For instance, Ogbonna John in the 74 kg is a fantastic wrestler. I watched him at the African Championships in Port Harcourt, and I told Daniel Igali at the time that he's one to look out for. Ekerekeme Agomo is also a good one. He's going to this championship. But let's give a shout out to Wilson. Wilson has been there for a long time. So maybe this time around, with just 3 wrestlers, these male wrestlers will go out there, maybe eat the humble pie, learn from the ladies, and then come out victorious. But definitely Team Nigeria will be no pushover at the African Wrestling Championship, particularly with the women.
All right, that's our hope. We'll see what happens. And just like Bolu joked in the studio, we'll come back with a trailer load of gold medals, not just any medals. All right, let's move on now and talk about volleyball on the show. Let's talk about what the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development is saying. They're saying they're ready to partner with the International Volleyball Federation to raise the standard of the game in Nigeria. This is part of some consultations taking place currently. We listen to representatives of the body the other time talking about how the game can grow in Nigeria. They've taken it a step further by meeting with the sports minister, as you can see in your picture. And of course, the Minister Sunday Dare will receive the officials of the World Volleyball Governing Body in his office in Abuja, says the government will not relent in its efforts to reposition the game in the country. And the International Volleyball Federation also commended the minister and the Nigerian Volleyball Federation on their initiatives towards growth and development of the game. Let's quickly listen to the Minister for Youth and Sports Development, and of course we'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.
We thought football was king, but we see gradually the penetration of volleyball. And I think what that says to us, it challenges us as a country to develop volleyball right from the grassroots, to come up with programs on volleyball, that of youth development, across our schools, collegiates, and to make sure that this country produces volleyball teams and clubs that can compete with other countries in the world. I know that the Volleyball Federation have their plans panned out. I just want to say that you need to deepen your volleyball programs when it comes to grassroots volleyball and also when it comes to club side.
We hope that when we leave on Saturday, that all of this doesn't go to zero. Because too often I have seen, I'm a school teacher by profession, not sport, and too often I have seen when I go and deliver in seminars and workshops, we all get excited and we all say, yes, we're going to do that. Yes, we're going to do this. And immediately as we leave, somehow or the other it goes lower and lower and lower. And as time passes, it diminishes what we promised. But I'm going to show you, Mr. Minister, that we are going to stay on their backs to make sure that our promises are met and their promises are met.
All right, that's it. And of course, the part that's a bit scary is when the officials of the International Volleyball Federation telling us that they are hoping that when they leave on Saturday, we're not going to forget all of the things we've talked about. Bolu, I think that's the bane, really. It's not the absence of ideas. It's following through on all of these things and ensuring that, you get it done. That's majorly the problem.
Well, if we had shame, that statement would bite us. It's only if you are shameless, you feel like he's just saying so. Because for him to make a statement like that, obviously they've done something like this before. And in the end, immediately you get on their flights, everyone forgets about it. I think I agree with you. Idea is not the challenge. That's why Austin is always saying he doesn't want to talk the talk. He just wants to walk the talk. It's a norm. We just talk about these things. Some don't even talk at all. That's even worse. At least talk about it, work towards it, and implement. Talent, again, he's never a challenge. It is never a problem. It is just doing the right things, because after now, what next? Yes, international body, the whole world, everyone is here. We've talked about it. They want to partner with us. They brought medals, everything. Then what next after now? That's the most important thing, because if we don't follow through, if we don't continue, before Jack Robinson, we'll be in 2023. Then we start thinking, oh, yeah, last year we agreed this. We come for another meeting. That's why you now hear the same man say, but I said something like this last year. To me, that statement or that phrase was embarrassing. But again, like I said earlier, he has seen something. He has heard something, probably experienced something for him to make such a statement. I hope this is not just a presser. I hope this is not just soundbite. I hope it will be something we go back to the drawing board. If there's a drawing board at all, write down with the marker, if there's any marker, and put plans into place. It is never too late to start doing the right thing. Hopefully this will just be, it will not just be a regular press conference. It will be a press conference that will lead to implementation.
True. I totally agree. I totally agree with Bolu. You know, nothing to add. You know, if the ministry and the Volleyball Federation can sit down and you know, re-strategize, take a look at this meeting and say, let it not end with this press conference and photo ops and then it was in the media and it was successful. No. The president of the International Federation mentioned 2 areas we must improve as a country. First, he mentioned infrastructure. Secondly, he said you don't have progression, you have talent. But after that, what are you doing? You know, so that tells you that there's no long-term planning. That tells you that there's no structure at the base, you know, for growing. So that's what the federation, the Volleyball Federation, led by Engineer Musa Nimrod and the ministry, look, we need collaboration, you know, in our sports system. This international federation, that's what they seek to do, strategic partnership. How can we help our member nations to achieve success? But it is what it is. The minister started by saying he thought football is king, but that now he's seeing these other guys are working. Yes, they are working. We just give 100% attention to football, and at the end of the day, we ignore the other guys. So, strategic planning. Let the federation be purpose-driven. Do things one step at a time. Ministry, ask the international federations, how do you put down policies, respect them, and implement? Because our major problem is that we don't have these policies embedded in most of the statutes that governs our sports in the country. So it's very, very important. For instance, Yemi and Bolu, we've been talking about sports and education for a long time. Put it in the curriculum, make it look serious. Let sports be beyond leisure in the country. What have we done? What policies are driving this sort of conversation so that we take it serious, so it becomes a binding document? So yes, hopefully this visit by Volleyball will make the ministry sit back, you know, reflect and find ways that we can take the sport to the next level.
Okay, all right. So we still have a lot to talk about, but we need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll still be talking handball. We look at what is happening in England, talking about the football matches currently going on. We talk about the Super Falcons as well, and also the Nigeria Women's Football League, the Super Six, currently going on. We'll do all of that when we return from this break. All right, welcome back. Of course, we've been discussing issues around wrestling and volleyball in Nigeria. We're through with the discussion on volleyball. But let's get back to Austin. Austin, there's still quite a number of things to talk about on the show. Let me yield the floor to you. Handball is our next port of call. Then again, we'll also look at the Super Six. Then also we talk about Super Z, that's Asisat Oshoala. Of course, remarkable season she's had. But first, lead us through what we have on handball, something big about to begin in the next few days.
That's right. We'll get you ready for the Handball League. Yeah, I mean, when this started, a lot of people asked questions that, is it going to be one-off? Can the federation keep it going? But shout out to Sam Ocheo and his team. They've ensured that this goes on and on and on every season. So we're getting ready for the 2022 season, which will begin on May the 22nd in Abuja. This is a league that has got sponsorship. Players look forward to it. And in a way, it's enhancing the development of handball in the country, because we now have a pool of players we can go and take a look at, and it's competitive. Every season, this handball league gives us something to talk about. For instance, when Adorable Angels won the league in the female category, I was like, wait a minute, a young team from Kwara, debutants, went on to go and win the league. It tells you that we've got the talent. So whatever it is that the Handball Federation they're doing, this is a very, very good.
Yeah, that's true.
Through the and then get to analyze it. You could tell that more persons are getting involved with handball in Nigeria.
Yeah, definitely. You have in the men's category 12 teams, in the female category 10 teams. It's going to be very interesting. Let's just give you a list of the participating teams for the top tier of the Handball Premier League. We just quickly run through that, and of course we get back to Austin to take us through some of the things. That's it on your screen. You have Benue Buffaloes of Makurdi. You have Confluence Kings of Lokoja. You have the Defenders of Civil Defense. You have Qatar Stars of Kaduna, Kano Pillars of Kano, Niger United of Minas. These are 6 of the 12 teams for the male category. You have Wena Kings of Akure, Police Machine of the Nigerian Police. You have Rima Strikers of Sokoto, Safety Shooters of FRSC. You have Seasider Boys of Lagos, and you have the guys from the academy in Lagos. This is for the male category. Let's go about the ladies quickly. Let's see. You have on your screen Adorable Angels. Austin referenced them a while ago. Benue Queens of Makurdi. You have Defender Babes of Civil Defense. Edo Dynamos of Benin City. You have Imo Grasshoppers. I mean, they have a rich history in handball. You have Qatar Queens of Makurdi. You have Plateau Peacocks. They're from Jos. Rima Queens from Sokoto. And Safety Babes of FRSC. You also have Seasider Babes. So that's everything about the competition that starts in a few days. But just a word or two on this before we move on. Handball too, the making some strides. I don't want to say giant strides, but I mean one of the few when everything was on the lockdown, they were able to get some competitions on the way, and it looks like the way they are getting their business done too. It looks like that you could sense kind of organization. It's neat, it's tidy, and those are some of the things you want to see.
One of the best things for games in Nigeria, or sports or leagues or whatever in Nigeria, is having sponsorship, and they have one. At least one. So things like that is gingers, putting it in the local balance. And again, remember the 3 different competitions or events or sports we've mentioned today are federations who either had or don't have problems with their board, with their leadership and everything. And we can see, we've talked about wrestling, we've talked about volleyball, now we're talking about handball. I think other federations should learn from this, because in the end, the players will be the winners. And when the players are winning, the board members are winning. Look at handball now. Their federation, their board are doing well. They've gotten sponsorship. Their league is set, like you rightly mentioned, 22 teams, 12 for the men and 10 for the ladies. Yeah, we had debutants the last time out. Who won? It means everyone that is thinking about getting into the league will be thinking, oh, we can also do this. If the young ladies from Ilorin can come and win in their first year, we can also do the same. So it is sending a message across the nation, sending a message across to everyone, and actually sending a message across to other federations as well, that when your house is in order, planning a league will be easy. Planning other divisions will be easy. And obviously getting sponsorship won't be too much stress. So hopefully we all learn from this. So congratulations again to the Handball Federation for, they have a plan already. They've set their date 22nd of May to, I think, June. Everything is well in place. And hopefully wish them all the best. They can sort all this out. And beyond this time, beyond this year, they continue to get even more sponsorship. The more money, the merrier for the players.
That's
All right.
Bolu, yep. Particularly they are doing whatever it is that the Handball Federation is doing. We hope that they keep it going. From 2017, when Samuel Ochoa and his team took over this board, we can see the progress. Yemi, tell me when we used to talk about handball this way in the last 5 years. There's no way, until purposeful leadership came into play. Now we're talking about handball, and that's so good for the sports in the country. Kano Pillars are the defending champions for the men, while Safety Babes are the defending champions for the women. So we'll just keep an eye on both teams and see if they can retain their title when the action commences on May the 22nd. Yeah.
All right, that's it. All right. So, let me just, I almost said Bolu. I was saying, something you were so eager to talk about on Tuesday, and I'll give the floor again. I mean, the ladies giving us enough reasons to talk about football. So, let's talk about some of the things happening in the Super Six on Tuesday. Ken Idris went as far as telling us who he thinks would win the tournament on the strength of the two matches that we've seen. And I know you were the voice of reason. You told him to take it easy. It was too early to start saying who was going to win and all that. But let's take a look at the current situation, and that's it on your screen. Take us through the stories behind some of these games.
Yeah, Nasarawa Amazons, they needed to, continue where they stopped in the second game, and they defeated Delta Queens by a single goal. Niger Raytails, we talked about them, but we knew it was going to be so difficult against Rivers Angels. They lost by 2-0. Now look at the story that came out of today's game. Bayelsa Queens 2, Edo Queens 1. So it means Edo Queens are yet to record a win at the Super Six. Remember, they are the host. And for the state government and officials of Edo Queens, they say, we've given this team everything. We give them the same salaries with the men. We take care of them. We give them allowances. Why are they not getting the results? So after that last result, they told Coach Wemimo and her team, pack your load and go. But it doesn't change anything. And it gets more interesting. It is the Monday gift that they wanted that Coach Wemimo didn't get. It's got a brace today. What a story.
What a story indeed. I remember just when Bolu was making his opening statement, he said the question anybody's yet to answer is why the lady in question was not in the list released by Coach Randy Waldrum. We're still waiting to get answers to that because, our form has been responsible for the sack of a coach. Our form has been responsible for piling more misery on another team. And so, she definitely has to be there. But, Bolu, I want to get your thoughts on, can you be as bold at this stage to say this is who is going to win? Because we already have somebody, even after match day 2, telling us this is who's going to win, pointing in the direction of Bielsa. I don't know if you want to do that as well.
I'll call Kenny Idris after the show and ask him if probably he's the one that will officiate those games. Because based on what we saw in the Super Six last year, as of now, you can't make a call because I remember I think Rivers Angels didn't even win their first 2 games and ended up winning. So football can be weird sometimes, but you still obviously have to look at, especially the top 2 teams, that these ladies, they are doing so well. Monday gives her the hat-trick in the last game, scored 2 goals. Interestingly, the 2 goal scorers in that game came out of Robo Queens. And incidentally, Robo Queens themselves are not in the Super. It just shows that, to an extent, we've moved. Sometimes you look at Edo Queens, is it that they are not good enough? Or other teams are just way better than them? I think it's the second answer. Others are just way better than them. Coach Webimo is gone. She was disappointed. Even though I didn't like the way the sack came, the state chairman, we've sacked her. Nah, they are process. I just hope they will pay her what you
the
are, the
entitlements.
entitlement and everything. But again, you have to give kudos, especially Bayelsa Queens. They've picked up from where they stopped even in the regular season. Last year, they messed up when it was time for the Super Six. I think this time around, they are not giving up. They want to fight hard, pushing everything they can to win this one. After seeing the first edition of the Champions League, the Women's Champions League in Africa, I think everyone wants to be there. And to be there, it is not by invite. It's not a wild card. You have to fight your way there, and this is the best way to fight. So I'm not doing Kenny Idris. I'm not making a call. I'm waiting patiently to watch how the events turn out at the end of the day.
Okay, so Bolu has refused to make a call, and obviously me and Austin are allowed to sit on the fence, and that's what we're going to do right about now.
And if you look at your screen, I'm in the middle, so I'm just fine where I am.
Okay, let's talk about Asisat Oshoala, Austin, and what a great season she's had.
I know, Super Z, what a story she's telling. She is a model of what it takes for a girl child to win. Each time I remember the story of Asisat Oshoala, one of passion, zeal, determination, dedication. And look at her, she keeps winning and winning and winning. She started from FC Robo. FC Robo, because we just talked about the NWFL. So players in the in the NWFL can look at Asisat and say, I can make it. I can even do better than Asisat. Now she has won highest goal scorer. She's aiming to help Barcelona retain their title. She's played for Liverpool ladies. She's played for Arsenal ladies. Now, I think she was in China at some point, made good money. Now she's doing it with FC Barcelona. Yeah, I love this story that Asisat Oshoala is telling, particularly in empowering, the girl child and telling people that, look, life is what you make it. You got to take your destiny into your own hands, So let's listen to Asisat Oshoala. When we come back, I'm sure Bolu has got one or two things to say. And I'm super excited that now she's back on the team. Let's just hope that whatever differences they had back in the day is squashed and then everybody is focused for the Africa Women's Cup of Nations.
I think first thing for me, being confident for the final is it's about the team. How we play as a team, that's more important. And personally, trying to get goals in the final is going to come natural. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I've played finals before, I've scored goals where I didn't plan for, but I'm a team player. I love to play for my team, and if I get the opportunity to score goal, why not? I'm going to definitely be happy to take it. Like I've always said to people, female football is the future, to be honest with you, because the things you're seeing now, you're going to have to see more in the future. You have to get used to it because the people are already getting tired of the whole thing that people say about women's soccer. A lot of people are picking more interest in women's football now. We got more spectators. We have more fans in the stadium. We sell out more stadiums. We're selling shirts and everything now. This is amazing to see in women's soccer. And I think for the future, this is just the beginning. You're just going to have to get used to it. I think it's really special for me playing in FC Barcelona because, I've played different clubs as well. I've been to different continents as well. I played in China a couple of years ago, and it was an amazing experience. Playing in Barcelona is just as special as every other place as well, to be honest. I'm just loving my job, trying to have fun while at it. Of course I am. I think my style of football, the kind of way I play, and the kind of team I play for, I see myself as a game changer because we play in a certain style, and I'm quite different, but I also think the mister knows how to use me better.
All right. Asisat Oshoala. You have to be happy for her and the progress she's made, and to have a Nigerian, just up there with the best in the world is something that is really heartwarming. But Bolu, let me get your thoughts. Crazy scenes at Goodison Park. We'll get to that in a bit. We almost lost our cool seeing some of the pictures, but Asisat Oshoala, what else is there to be said?
Well, I think I can, to an extent, boldly say she's probably the greatest women's player in Africa. Because first off, she's tied on 4 with the best player in Africa. She probably would have had more, but for COVID. But from where we are, she'll still likely win 2022. First African to play in the Champions League final, first African to score in the Champions League final, first African to win the Champions League, first African to win a treble. She will likely win another treble this year because Barcelona Femini are taking everybody to the cleaners with the win. So I just hope have fun with Barcelona. And I remember she's won the highest scorer, Pichichi, the first African to do that. And the fact that she was injured for about 4 months. That means the way she started it, she doesn't start all their games. This season at the start, she began to play first team football. She got injured. Despite the injury, all the goals she scored earlier on still won the award for her. So I think maybe because of her form for the Falcons is why people don't really rate her so much as they used to. But again, we don't even know the truth about the captaincy problem. That's the truth. Because NFM never said anything. So it's just a report, and everybody started fighting on social media about everything. Yeah. So let's see what happens. Now she's back. I would have loved to see her with Mondegit, who Mondegit said one time that she looked up to Asisat, that she would probably be one of the greatest things for her to play alongside Asisat on the pitch. And if Ifeoma Onomono is scoring as well, I would love to see a combination with us. I just don't want to see Asisat dropping back in the Falcons. anytime she draws back to the midfield, they affect the team system. But it's because of the women we have in the middle. If you have young, vibrant, energetic players that can send in the balls, look at her at Barcelona. She doesn't need to draw for anything. Just run into the space, they give you the pass. So I hope her form reflects in the national team. But again, congratulations to her. She's done everything. She's played at the biggest clubs. Like you said, Liverpool, Arsenal, played in China, plays for Barcelona. What more can anyone want? Like she said, she's always grateful for her career. Again, she doesn't have to be the best growing up. But again, she's fortunate and she's using it so well, scoring when needed, winning trophies when needed. Hopefully, we get to win the Alcon again and do much more come the World Cup next year in Australia.
All right, we could go on and on, but we have to move on because time's always a constraint. History has been made, something remarkable is happening as we are approaching Qatar 2022. 3 female referees will officiate at the 2022 FIFA World Cup. I mean, that story is very exciting. But before we, that's it on your screen. An African referee, it's also named as part of, let me just give you the names of the 3 ladies and 3 assistants that will be there. French woman Stephanie Frappat will be there. Rwandan Salima Mukasanga will be there as well. Yoshimi Yamashita from Japan. These 3 ladies will officiate in a men's game. That's the highest at the Mundial, at the FIFA World Cup. And it's very, very interesting. Of course, Mukasanga becomes the first woman to referee. She became the first woman to referee a game at the AFCON early this year. So you also have some of the assistants as well. Very interesting story. We'll talk more about this as we move on the show. But needless to say, history has been made. And hopefully, other referees will get, other African referees too will get the chance. All right, before I get back to Austin, because he will have to tell us what is going on if the fans have calmed down at Goodison Park. But Bolu, you caught my attention with some of the things you're saying. Everton looks like they've turned things around, and they might just settle everything today.
No, they're in the 93rd minute right now. If it ends like this, survival is certain now. They're not getting relegated anymore. But again, they came from 2 goals down. They were 2-0 down. Later on, they kept fighting hard. Now they are 3-2 up. Immediately, they got their 3rd goal. Richarlison, I think, in the 85th minute. Everywhere, Jan Pepe scatter. The fans encroaching, everything. You could sense the joy of survival. When some persons ask you that, why do you guys want to kill yourself for football? When you show them pictures like this, they will understand. So they know what it means. People said, you don't want next season I won't have a Merseyside derby. So if it stands like this, they are definitely going to stay in the Premier League.
Even club said so. All right, that's it on your screen. All of these games currently going on as we speak. It is live as you have on your screen. Just let me just go back to Austin. I mean, what can you say about the fans at Goodison? We're just screaming, shouting, and they've been able to get their players 2 goals down. It's 3-2 now. 94 minutes of football played, and then the final whistle goes. The Toffees are safe.
That's what it is. That's why the fans couldn't control their emotion. You know what I mean? I have to describe it. It was madness. You know, they don't care. Everton needed to win this. When they were down 2-0 at halftime, I'm sure Frank Lampard would be saying to the guys in the dressing room, do you want to go to the championship? Because if you don't win today against Crystal Palace, you need to just forget about everything. You know, so Everton knew they needed to fight. They needed to push. And then they started fighting. And when that 3rd goal went in, gracious goodness, it's no way you're going to stop those fans, because you can punish Everton for all they care, but they want to stay in the league. And this result is probably what will guarantee their stay in the league.
All right, how about the other games? Burnley, I thought they were going to do the job today as well. But now, after 83 minutes, it's 1-1 with Aston Villa, Chelsea, and Leicester City. There's nothing to that game. I mean, maybe just for placements, it's 1-1. So your thoughts on those 2 matches as well?
Yeah, you know, I didn't really look much at those games. It was just about Crystal Palace, Everton. But yes, I was expecting Burnley to do it, but it's definitely going to be difficult at Villa Park. And that's a confirmation right there that it's 1-1. Chelsea started struggling in this game, but if they had lost at Stamford Bridge, I don't think it would be a good one for them as we end towards the end of this, towards the end of the season. So Chelsea are playing 1-1 with Everton, but so far so good. Yeah, I mean, I think this will be a fairly good result for Burnley, and an indication that they can also be safe in the league, because right now they are 17th on the log with 35 points if it stays this way. But they also need to be careful. They shouldn't lose their last game, otherwise Leeds tied on 35 also. So I knew it was definitely going to be very difficult against Aston Villa, particularly that Aston Villa didn't win the last game that they needed to win. Now against City, that's where everyone is talking, because Aston Villa, they are 14th on the log right now, and they might just want to, push their luck. But we know it's going to be very difficult against a Manchester City side that is gunning for the league title, who will definitely have a dramatic end to the English Premier League season.
Austin, before we go to other things, Bull is already laughing, but let me just ask you this question. Word on the street, a lot of people are saying Steven Gerrard holds Liverpool. And so that he would probably lead out his Aston Villa side to go do the job on Manchester City. But do you think Steven Gerrard will feel that he holds Liverpool something and will make him chase again?
I know these guys are professionals, I don't know about him taking Liverpool's problems into his hands. He's just going to tell his team, go to the Etihad and make sure that you don't get a terrible, defeat, because Manchester City, they've been on fire. I mean, they've been scoring goals left, right, and center. So Steven G will just tell the guys, professional, look at where you are on the log and find a way that you can improve, because you're as good as your last match. So, yes, he loves Liverpool. He's a Liverpool legend, but I don't think he's going to do more than what his team can do, Manchester City, they won the league title. They're playing at the Etihad, and they know that Aston Villa is a potential banana skin. Remember, as Manchester City got into the league proper when they lost to Crystal Palace at the Etihad, if you guys can remember. Right after that loss, they snapped back to reality. So they will not let that happen again.
All right, but let me just come to you as we prepare to wrap things up. Before we talk about Europa, but I mean, just for laughs, do you think Steven Gerrard holds Liverpool anything?
Well, first off, it's over at the Goodison Park. Everton are safe now.
They're safe?
But people are talking of loyalty, that if Gerrard gets it, then said if Coutinho helps them, they'll forgive Coutinho for what he has done. But Aston Villa tend to gain £15 million if Man City wins the league. Part of the clause in the contract that signed Jagger. I think I'd rather take the £15 million than
stop them.
But again, like Austin said, being professional is the most important thing. If they win, it won't be a win because of Liverpool. To be a win for us.
They wanted to.
And with City knowing City were here some years ago when they needed 100 points. They got a late goal from Gabriel Jesus. 3 years ago, they were here as well, away to Brighton, 1 point ahead of Liverpool. Liverpool at home to the same Wolves they were playing on final day. They did the job. So I think City know what they need to do. With or without a striker, they know 1-0 would just be enough for them. But City, we know when they score early, especially, you can count maybe 3, 4. They've scored 5+ goals in 11 games this season in the Premier League alone. Don't be shocked if they make it number 12 this weekend.
Okay. All right. Before we go, we have to talk about the Europa League. And Bola, I want to get your thoughts before we go back to Austin to probably listen to Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. So close, yet so far. And Aaron Ramsey will probably be kicking himself. It was brought in as an experienced player, probably to score one of the penalty kicks. He missed it. I don't know. I think Rangers played their hearts out.
Penalty kicks will humble you. I remember Mourinho saying his worst game was the Real Madrid-Bayern game, that my best penalty takers miss penalties. That's Ramos, Kaká, and Cristiano Ronaldo. So what else do you want? Rangers, I think the headline for everything in that game has to be that I think it's time for Nigeria to move away from the Oyinbo world. Looking at what Calvin Bassey did yesterday.
At centre-back.
He plays both even centre and left.
And left,
but there was a time that even the commentator said, oh, the first time he's making a blunder. and his recovery to gain a corner kick back shows the hunger this boy, and he's still just 21. He won the best young player for Rangers, and he was nominated for the best player even for the club. It just shows this boy is good, and Joe Aribo again showed his versatility, playing as a false nine, getting the goal for them. So we have talent, we have everything, but like you said, they gave their all. Penalties just, you can call it shared love for everyone. Remember, Liverpool's 2 trophies over Chelsea this season. The FA Cup and the Carabao Cup was through penalty. So it's anybody's game, but definitely Aaron Ramsey will probably be biting his fingers. Brought him on 4 minutes to the end of the game to score penalty. And it was his miss that cost them the trophy. So congratulations again to Eintracht Frankfurt.
And I don't know why people are saying he brought the Arsenal bad luck. I don't understand. I don't understand all of that. All right, Austin, this man in your picture has a thing or two to say. Maybe we'll just listen to Giovanni Van Bronckhorst and we come back to wrap things up on the show.
Well, of course, a big disappointment. I mean, if you play a final in Europe and you lose, it will hurt. Because you play a final, you will do everything you can to win it. And then in the end, with penalties, it's a lottery. And tonight we weren't on the good side. But, I can't complain with everything my players gave today and also the games before this tonight. But in the end, I think it was a really tight game. It went all the way to penalties, and we lost. It's big disappointment because you are so close in winning a trophy. But that's also football. If you play a lot of big games, big finals, you will have memories that will last forever when you win them. But when you lose, it will hurt a lot. Well, it's very down. I mean, you could see that already after the game. It's never nice to lose, and so everyone is hurt, disappointed, and you can sense that in the locker room. I think it's also normal. So short after the game, Aaron, of course, was disappointed, but he took responsibility to take the penalty, and you can make it or you can miss it, and. Unfortunately for us, he didn't make it. But you want to have players taking penalties who are ready and.
All right.
Yeah.
We're on the home stretch, but Austin, I mean, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst kept a straight face, but of course that loss will be painful to any manager.
Very. It hurts, particularly when you get so close, but it looks like it's still so far away. You said it, penalties are a game of lottery, so somebody would definitely miss. I was right there at the FA Cup final when Sadio Mane stepped up. I said, it seems Mane is going to miss, and Mendy saved it. Talking about top players here, and he just mentioned that Ramsey took the responsibility to step up to it, and he missed. It happens. But shout out to Joe Aribo. Thought he had a decent game. Shout out to Calvin Bassey. He was a warrior all through the match. Fantastic player. Gave Nigeria a good representation in the Europa League final. And then all the love to Frankfurt. First European title in 42 years. I mean, a clear indication that impossible is nothing.
Yeah. All right, that's a good place to leave it on the show tonight. It's been good doing this and knowing fully well that you're there, listening and watching everything we're doing. But of course, it's a wrap on the show. But before we go, I want to say a big thank you to Bolu Omoni for his time on the show today. Hopefully, we'll do this again next week.
Good to be again. Only 3 teams have finished Europa League unbeaten: Chelsea, Villarreal last season, and Frankfurt this season.
All right. Thanks for the stats. All right, that's the show today. We do hope you enjoyed everything. Still one more edition before the week runs out. We're back here again tomorrow to take you on a trip across the money spinning, entertaining, fast-paced world of sports. From the city of Lagos, right here in Nigeria, I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.
Just in case you missed it, Everton, they are safe. They won't be relegated. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. And everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.